Good morning. Today's video, I'm going to talk about overthinking things. Quit overthinking things in 2022. One of our quit videos that we're doing for 2022 for the beginning of the year. Nice foggy morning here in Alicante. Really, this is it's a great sort of time to really start thinking about things that you should be doing in the year. I mean, stopping drinking alcohol, as we said in the last video, is the first thing that I'd recommend anyone do if you haven't done that already. And overthinking things, I think, comes in many different forms. I'm always doing it, or I used to do it. I mean, I'm trying not to do it anymore, but it's one of my personal bugbears, is really trying to overthink things. I do this mostly when I'm studying things, when I'm reading about things. What I'll do is I'll read into a book and then something else will come up and this guy will talk about another book, and I'll go onto Amazon and look that up and get that book, and then this guy talks about another book and I think, oh, that's an interesting concept, and you get so dragged down a rabbit hole, you know. I mean, the internet is a huge thing for that. You can get dragged into things that are just not relevant, and one of the things that you can do to get out of that is to forget about being perfect in something. I mean, perfection is bullshit, and there's no other way of describing it. So the first thing that I suggest to you to do is to forget about perfection. Perfection is just one of those things that you're never going to get to. It's bullshit. It's I think we live in a world where the idea of perfection is there, but it's just something which is completely subjective, and you know, your idea of perfection is not going to be the same as my idea of perfection, and you know, it's something that we should really leave to the gods, if you like. You know, progress should be your goal. That should be the thing that you're aiming towards. Continuous progress, continuous improvement, you know, get into that best possible version of yourself. The second thing that I'd suggest that you do is to change your relationship with fear and anxiety. First of all, think about fear and anxiety as being natural things that happen in everyday life, especially when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You know, when you make big changes in your life, the bigger the change, the more fear you're going to have and the more anxiety you're going to have. It's supposed to happen that way. You know, this is, our brains are designed to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Our brains are designed for habitual existence, if you like. So all the fear and anxiety that you get is a natural phenomenon. It's supposed to happen that way. What most people, I think it's one of the reasons why most people don't change. It's one of the reasons why people drink and take drugs in the first place, is because they're trying to get rid of something that is impossible to get rid of. And it's a stupid thing to do, you know. Stupid thing to do. It's something which you can never do. The only way that you can do this is in any way, shape or form in life is to hide from things, and even that's going to bring its own fear and anxiety. You know, I remember reading, you know, about people that shut themselves up in bubbles and shut themselves off from life. You know, and then they become neurotics, they become eccentrics, and they're full of fear and anxiety. So the only way that you can get rid of fear and anxiety, or the only way that you can deal with fear and anxiety, is through management, trying to manage it. And you can turn up that dial on your fear and your anxiety, or you can turn it down. It's up to you. And the third thing is to really focus on the steps that you can take now. You know, stop focusing your life on those huge goals that are out there in front of you. You know, the goals that are really can seem to be unreachable. You know, I think having those goals out in the future, having those things to aim towards is a really good thing, but you need to focus your mind back on the present, or as close to the present as you can, you know. Focusing on what's next and focusing on the next few moves is the key, I think, to progress in life. You know, simplicity. Always look at things from, how can I make this as simple as possible? What is the simplest way of doing this? How can I take out the complexity of this? Because the complexity is always going to bring about unnecessary distraction, and it will also bring about confusion. And those two things, distraction, being distracted away from what you should be focused on, and towards things, you know, like the overthinking, like I said, you know, just getting down, being dragged down a rabbit hole, they're always going to bring about more fear. And it's a fear that you don't necessarily need, you know. It's fear that is unwarranted fear. I mean, there's a whole difference between having fear and anxiety for the things that need to be feared, right? For the focus points, for the things that are going to bring you somewhere. I mean, fear and anxiety are both emotions, and emotions are tools. And the fear and anxiety is always going to bring you towards, if used properly, it will bring you towards the goals that you want to go towards, you know. One of the things that you can do to reduce your fear and anxiety, and to stop overthinking things, is to take our free course over on Habits V2. It's down below. Click on the link. It's the quick start preparation. But you can use this for anything. I mean, it's designed for alcohol, but you know, any big change it will work on, and it's designed to really give you clarity and to help you to think about things, to get clear on where you are and to get clear on where you're going, to give you the confidence that you have already the abilities to do this, and to give you the courage to step across that line and to take things step by step. So just to reiterate what I've already said, three of the things, the key things that you can do to stop overthinking things is, first of all, stop looking for perfection in things, you know, do the things that you need to do. And you know, it's like when they say, if you're doing any writing, or if you're doing any creative work, is to first of all get the first part of the process done. Just get it down on paper, or get it onto the canvas. Stop trying to look for perfection. And then the second thing is to take things steady, you know, overcome your fear and anxiety by moving forward step by step in small steps, and then focus on you know, have your goal out there in front of where you want to go, but focus on the next few critical moves that you need to take to do that, and then, you know, move on to the next ones and the next ones. It's a process. Everything about this journey is a process, and if you step outside of the process, if you can gather that process together, you can make huge strides, because you're only focusing on the next step and the next step and the next step. You're not looking for the perfection, and you're really you're overcoming your own fear and anxiety, or you're riding on that wave of fear and anxiety by keeping those things down to a minimum, you know, by focusing on those next steps, and by just saying to yourself, look, one step at a time, one step at a time. Listen, I'll leave it there for today. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.